Hey y'all, I'm not about to be on here long, but I gotta tell y'all something. Hey, y'all, I was in the bed, just got off the phone with my cousin, like we yawning and everything. Baby, I done picked up this book and I'm about to go back to reading it, but y'all, I gotta tell y'all this right now before we go to sleep. Girl, I was hoping you came in here. Girl, baby, listen. If I could kiss you, I would. Right here, smack dab in your head. A real wet kiss, too. Put a little spit on my mouth right there. And you know how they kiss you with the inside? That part. I'm about to bust your head to the white meat. I'm about to bust your head to the white meat, honey. Listen. Girl, I done went in there to get the charger and didn't even get it. Listen here. Hold on. OMG. Y'all, I'm finding out more and more and more why these folks, the CC people over there, didn't hid all this. Baby, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this book without coming and talking to y'all every 2 minutes. Y'all, why Judas was sleeping with his mama? Why was there a prophecy before he was born, just like with Peter's daughter or whatever? Remember they said if she stay alive, she gonna cause a lot of men to fall if she not sick. Baby, there's two different versions. There's the Aramaic or the not Aramaic. I can't think of it. Anyway, there's two, there's two different versions. There'll be a Greek version, whatever. Whatever it is, there was a prophecy, y'all, that he was gonna kill his real daddy. So the daddy pierced this boy in his legs. Like, I don't know if it was through his feet or through his legs or what. One story say it put him in a basket and put him in a bush. The other story says he put him in a basket and put him on a river and somebody found him. He was raised by, the reason they called him Judas Iscariot is because the city that he was taken to was called Scariot or Scariot. So they just called him Judas Iscariot. Okay, the daddy knew that he was going to kill him. So he got rid of the baby, right? One book say he had a dream, the lady had a dream. The other book says he went to some type of diviners and they told him, your son is going to betray the King of Kings and this and this. He's going to kill you and he going to marry his mama. In both stories. So the daddy gives him away. The mama and daddy, the daddy died. No, the mama and daddy give him away. He goes and gets raised by either a lady and her husband, whatever, y'all. He grows up and he goes to the army, or he just is like a hired hand type person, kind of out and about. And somehow or another, he stumbles on his daddy's orchard, like his daddy's land. And the dad, in one story, it says the dad caught him eating the fruit and he was like, what you gonna do about it? And the man was mad, so he ran up on him and Judas killed him. The other one says that he was a soldier and he was like going around, you know how soldiers, as a matter of fact, it's exactly what ICE is doing right now. Hate to tell you, but exactly what ICE is doing right now is what's described as how Judas Iscariot was, right? Just going and pillaging, saying it's whatever, and they taking whatever and, doing this. Okay, me too. So when he kills his father, because he does kill his father in both stories, he kills his father. When he kills his father, in order for them to not be upset, Pilate to not be upset and all of this, he makes him marry his mama, but he don't know it's his mama. In both stories, this nigga marries his mama because he don't know it's his mama. In one story, it says that when he undresses himself, finally one day she looks at his feet and she said, what happened to your feet? And he said, the story is, my daddy didn't want me. He heard a story about me, da 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 da. And so he got rid of me. And she breaks down crying. In the other story, Nimrod Reborn, girl. Girl, you know that's exactly what I thought about. And what's going on with the elites right now? Huh? They're interbreeding. They've been interbreeding. They're inbred folks. They marry. Okay, baby, listen. I know why they hid it. Girl, I'm so excited about these books. I was dead tired. Me and my cousin, yelling on the phone. Baby, I done got tired. Baby, I picked that book up. And listen, it ain't nothing but about 3 pages. Hey, are y'all listening to this? This is why they don't put because these people, it just made me think. The thought came to my mind. Every single person, you said I remember because I had to read it in high school. Okay. Every single person, right, has a story. Think about me. Y'all can only tell people, 1, what I told you, and 2, what you've seen me live. You know me from 41 until now. Almost 46. I met y'all when I was 41. I turned 42 right after that. Y'all can only tell people about where you met me from. But I lived a whole, you said I've been saying that. That's why I've been looking for more. Girl. Because like, there, I'm so happy we went looking for the mysteries. But I used to tell y'all when we first started this, God be blowing my mind. And now he be blowing y'all mind, and he be blowing our mind together. And it makes me very, very happy. Because I was going to try to wait. Listen, I was going to try to wait. They said you can download it on academia.edu if you want to start reading it now. Listen, I'm just like, this is why they cherry pick the stories. Because think about it. They tried to make everybody seem like they, only certain people were evil, but they got picked to be this and that. And we get in the backstories now of who these people were before they met Jesus. They give us a short synopsis of, whatever, so we can kind of get a little bit of the character. But these people had whole lives that we know nothing about. Because guess what? We know from the infancy of Jesus that they played together as kids. Remember? Judas and them, they was at the water or whatever, and Judas hit him. Well, I would be angry too if somebody didn't appear, because they telling him this story about his life the whole time. So he knows that his father and mother did not want him. That would make adopted children sometimes be angry. So it makes sense. And then it says he hit Jesus on the side, or bit him or whatever, on the side that he was going to be pierced in. Right? Remember? But look at this. Later on in life, after Judas found out that he was married to his mama, he was sick to his stomach. The mama was sick to her stomach, so he left. Well, it was messing with his mind, y'all. So he had heard in both stories that Jesus was healing people's minds, healing people, and he went looking for Jesus and found Jesus. And Jesus prayed for him. Jesus also handed him a money bag and said, take care of us. I'm going to give you this. You take care of us, and you take care of yourself. He stole money out of the bag, y'all. From Jesus. He stole money out of the bag that Jesus gave him. Coins, money, he stole it. And they said it was a premonition, basically, or, what I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now because my mind is going all over the place. But your first interaction with Jesus, he heals your mind, and then the first thing that you think to do is steal from him. You said, this is so juicy, I promise. I've been looking for the stories of the lives these people been talking to the sisters and looking hard. So glad we have them now for you to share. Girl, I'm so excited. I was hoping you got on here. I said, please let her get on here, because does she know what she done did? See, before I didn't have nobody to share this stuff with. so I can just read and read and read. Y'all, as soon as I started reading it, I want to get over here and read it to y'all. I said, oh, I was sleepy, and I am going to go get in my bed. But, baby, I had to share this with y'all. Thank you. You hear me? Listen, because what the heck? It was prophesied that Judas was going to be who he was going to be. Just like, what was it, Abraham? Remember when Abraham was born? Me too. I'm just excited as you are. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. And I'm thanking you for giving me these. I do. Because it made me think about Abraham and Terah and Nimrod and them when it was prophesied. Remember, he knocked the crown off and then they made him put his hand on the hot coal and the angel came down. Like, it's all making sense. You said, oh, I want them so bad. I'm excited just listening to what you've read. Listen. I'm like, so these folks knew that people was coming. You know what I'm saying? They knew. Y'all, I ain't going to keep y'all, but it's right here. I didn't hop from the other book to this one. I said, well, let me go in here and see. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. So, it was prophesied that he was going to be evil from the get-go. Now, y'all know we got the Gospel of Judas, right? It don't say nothing about that in there from what I read. And from what I remember reading in here, and I read this whole thing, well, the gospel, all the extra stuff of what they thought. I don't be reading that because I don't need y'all to give me revelation. But not y'all, the people in the book. It didn't say nothing that I could see about none of this. We got the Gospel of Judas. Hey, sister, you hear me? So reading this, when I tell you the Bible, it's the juiciest story I ever read in my life. And I done read a lot of juicy stories. So I just want y'all to know, we about to dive in. Mm-hmm. We about to dive in. We sure is. Mm-hmm. We about to do it. We is. I'm excited. Judas killed his daddy. His identity revealed. And in both stories, they say he found out. Could you imagine? Just put yourself in their shoes. It's bad enough it be brothers and sisters, right? Because daddies and mamas don't be wanting to say who they pregnant by and all this old stuff. But could you imagine getting into a situation and they say, okay, you have to marry this person, and then you find out it's your father or your mother? Could you imagine? Hey, Pumpkin. Hey. Could you? Put yourself in their shoes. How? And they probably didn't already, because it said after a while. So they was already married. And you know, back then, they come and check the bed and all of that kind of stuff, even though she wasn't a virgin. But there's a process that has to happen in the marital, whatever, to make sure that you consummated the marriage. So he been longing for his mama all this time, probably trying to figure out why his mama, what she looked like. And whole time, he stumbled right on their property. This part. Yes. You said, looked up them books, started praying to my dad. Bless me with the books, please. This is juicy. It is. You can go read the books online. You said, right. You said it was a lady like that who I think had a baby with her son and she gave up as a teen. Yes, I think I seen something about that. I think I did see something. So the devil is still using the same tricks. This is why it's important. But guess what? I told y'all. My sons, all my baby daddies is older than me. And when they used to be on that BS talking about whatever, no, I need to know how many kids you got. Because that's one of the reasons why I moved my kids away from the West Coast. All my kids was born on the West Coast. That's the main reason I moved them away. Because their dads wouldn't tell the truth about how many kids they had and hiding secret kids and all this old crazy stuff. I didn't want my son or my daughter to go to school and end up hooking up with one of their brothers or sisters that they don't know about. So I moved my kids back to the Midwest Once when my son was like 6, I was like, all right, it's time for us to go. Because if y'all don't want to tell the truth about who, what, when, where, why, and my kids' dads was having babies with women of all different races. So you can't just say, okay, black girl. No, they had Indian, Spanish, everything, Puerto Rican, all kinds of stuff. So especially out in the West Coast, you know, it's a melting pot. And my son just so happened love, you know, Latino women. So she could be mixed, and you don't know, and you don't want to say. So I was younger than them, but even the baby mamas was silly and was like, girl, please. I said, listen, you thinking I want him. I don't want nothing to do with him. I guarantee you that. I ain't had nothing to do with him since I got pregnant. But what I do care about is in 15 years, when all of our kids that are born in the same year, 6 to 8 weeks apart, and it's 4 of them, and they're not all the same sex. And even with that, same thing. I don't want my son or daughter sleeping with their brother or sister. But it's crazy that I'm only 17, 18. Y'all 20 something, almost 30, and y'all don't think like this. You still thinking baby daddy, baby mama drama. Let me get my kids out of here. I was younger, 10 years younger than them, dang near. And baby, listen, they was silly as hell. I said, let me go. Let me go. Sorry, son. You'll get to meet him whenever you meet him, because I can't have you at school talking about you like some girl. Come to find out that's your sister. We won't be doing that. So we're going to move halfway across the country. And then whenever you go home, you just make sure you ask, do you know who your daddy is? For sure. Not the daddy you know, your real daddy. Hello. Because we all know a story of somebody that got pregnant, broke up with the baby daddy, met the dad before she was whatever. Dad's been there, so this baby don't know their bloodline because mama ain't going to tell the truth because she didn't want to hurt the kid, but the kid got to go to school. And okay, maybe it's not the brother or sister. Maybe it's the first cousin. This is why it's important that you don't lie. I was a Maury story, I told y'all. And I almost, for 2 years, I had a crush on who was my first blood cousin and didn't know because I didn't know who my real dad was. Okay? I'm thinking this nigga fine, going to all the what's the names whole time. Our parents are brother and sister, same mama, same daddy. But because the truth wasn't told about my birth or whatever the situation was, then what if I would have met him 5 years later at the club and we 20 years old and get drunk and have a wild night? Like, do you understand? That's why I know it was very important for me as a mom to know, hey, I don't care about your baby daddy, girl. I don't care. He my baby daddy. He our baby daddy. What I need to know is my son and my daughter needs to know their brothers and sisters, period. I don't care because they're all in the same age. We're not going to do that. You said that happened to me in high school. Dude had his mom to get me flowers. When she seen my name, she said, that's your cousin. This. I done told y'all the story. I rode up on my little huffy bike thinking I was, about to have me a little boyfriend or something. And he said, hold on one second. And he went in the house. I'm like, okay, Yeah, came out with a whole bunch of niggas that look just like me. And I don't look like nobody on my mama's side. This the only face you gonna see. When I stand next to my mama people, you don't even know I'm kin to them. Put me next to my daddy people, baby, I fits right in. Everybody got this same face. My sister, my brother, my cousins, light, dark, short, fat, it don't matter. We all got this same face. You said right, I used to hear my daddy had kids everywhere, and he literally just confirmed it like a month ago, joking with me. I'm thankful I'm the oldest because there were only 14. They were only 14, and I always dated older. Yes. My dad was big on asking my ex-boyfriends who their people are. You know why they do that? They do that because they know that it's a lot of kids they have not claimed. That ain't my baby. That ain't my baby. That ain't. But you stay in the same city. Weird. You said it's crazy because I didn't meet my mom until last year, and I can't really remember what she looked like, so I don't know who I ran into. Exactly. This. So reading this just made me think about real life right now. Right? And this is happening still in our day. This was over 2,000 years ago. And because people will not be honest about who their children are or whatever else it is, this is still happening. My mama always asks who your family is, who your mama. But get this, Judas didn't know. He didn't know who his parents were. He just knew the story of his birth. So he could have been looking at sisters and didn't even know. He was in the army, okay, or some type of deal like that. It, you can ask, but if you don't know who your people are and you think that your daddy is your daddy and that ain't your daddy, you can tell them all day long, but it won't be the truth. You could be staring your family in the face and don't know. Hear me? I did it. When people used to ask me who my people was, I gave them my mama's first husband's family, but I did not know that those were not my blood relatives. So when people used to ask me who I was kin to, I say, oh, my grandma, my daddy, my wooty woo. Okay, yeah. Whole time, no. Wrong lineage. And people used to tell me that I look like my blood auntie. They'd be like, you sure you ain't kids? And I'd be like, no, I don't know them people. Nope, my last name is this. These is my people, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. You couldn't tell me nothing different until I found out. My first baby daddy said my baby wasn't his, so I moved and did a DNA test and never looked back. That part. Girl, we family for real. Because, baby, I'll move in a heartbeat. What you mean? I'm trying to tell you, Auntie moved when her daughter was 6 weeks or 8 weeks. She wasn't no more than 8 weeks. We got to get out of here. Really been thinking about calling, you said Caramel. Listen, and Mary Older, you said, and out of state, that part. And it's been so much stuff going back in the day and family keeping secrets. Exactly. All of that. Yeah. So this sparked the whole thing for me. So I'm going to let y'all go because I'm about to go back and finish reading because I was sleepy, but now I'm not. I done made me a full cup of coffee and I'm about to sit in this bed and read. And but yeah, I just wanted to put y'all on. Because that, I was like, oh, wow. Makes sense as to why he didn't care about, like, you know? If your whole life you hear your dad left you for dead, how would you feel? Would you care about anybody else? That would make you callous. It would make me callous. Your daddy left, he pierced your feet or your legs, stabbed your legs, and left you to bleed to death as a newborn? Girl, thank you for sharing. What you mean? Wait a minute, you want, girl? You said when I was a kid, me and my adopted family was at a park and a lady came up to my and said we was cousins and my mom got mad and ran her away. This. Not one. My mom did the same thing. Not with that, but a lady walked up to me in the store and I was like 5, and she said her people was. She said Kathy. Kathy was my aunt's name. That's my dad's sister, but my mom also goes by Kathy. Well, she did in the 70s. She went by Kathy. So when they said, "Is your mama Kathy?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they said Kathy blank, and my mom said, "No, and you don't need to worry about it. Don't worry about who her people is." And she rushed me off because at that time, the man she was married to thought that I was his daughter. She didn't know for sure. I guess it didn't really come out until I got older and you could see it in my face. But yeah. So I know exactly what you mean. Went through that myself. And I was asking my mama questions and they never got popped in my mouth. So didn't ask them questions no more. So I'm not gonna keep y'all, but I'm about to go. Thank you. I'm about to go do this, and I might see y'all tomorrow. I probably will because ain't no telling what else I'm gonna read that I'm gonna want to share. I don't know. I used to be able to read it and not have to share it with nobody because I didn't have nobody to share it with, and now I can't wait to tell y'all. And so I don't know if that's good or bad because I'll be waiting. Listen, as soon as I start reading it, I was like, I need to go read this to the peoples. They need to know this. So I love, girl, you didn't make my day. I'm trying to tell you. Listen, and I'll be on here in here on the shelf. I'll probably be all through this shelf in the next couple of days. So y'all gave me a reason to come back in here instead of just work. Thank you. My mom lied about my real dad. I don't know who he is either. Girl, you better do your DNA test so you can find your people. I know they said whatever, but it really do find family members. I don't care about all that other stuff, the dog, whatever. I don't care. Because it found family members that I know is my family. Told me it was my first cousin and everything. Do your DNA test. And they going to have a special at Mother's Day. They already got our DNA anyway. They got it every time you went to the hospital. Do your DNA test so you can find out who your people's cousins and stuff is. Because you need to know for your children. How do you do what? Girl, what's the name? I did Ancestry. Everybody said Ancestry ain't real. It's a lie. Because it found all my cousins. On my mama's side and my daddy's side. Sure did. Folks that I've heard my mama talk about as a kid, because they're older, so they really would technically, I would have to call them auntie or uncle. Because I called my mama recently and was like, who was this? She said, that's my first cousin. That's such and such daughter. That's this person. That's that person. That's such and such uncle, such and such daughter. It found all of them. All of my family member that has taken the DNA, one of my Ace Boone Coon cousins, he's listed there on my mama's side. My Ace Boone Coon cousin on my daddy's side, they the closest to me on there. My husband found out he has a sister a couple years ago. Yes, they found all my people. So, what you mean? Do it. Your excitement got my toes wiggling. You said I'm excited for the girl. They in the carpet like this. You don't even know. Y'all can't see them, but they in the carpet doing it. Massaging the carpet. You see how I got it? Got my glasses on my head and everything. Funny, I have a kid. Never you. Girl, send that in. At any holidays. Okay, so Valentine's Day, all the holidays, they put them on sale. Because they're normally like $99, $139. But at the holidays, they put them on sale for like $49, $59, $69. So they gonna do it for Mother's Day for sure. They've done it for years. Mother's Day, use that kit. I'm trying to tell you. Now, I ain't paying no monthly fee because I don't got money like that. But I did do the 30-day, what's the name, and tried to find out what I can. But if them words was too little on them little things. And so I moved on with my life. But yeah, I'm on there, and it'll constantly give you hints because they didn't change it now. Once you pay for it, it was like free or whatever, unless you want to do something else. Now that other company bought it, and it's super expensive. But whatever the case, do your kid. It's important. You know what I'm saying? Not just for you, but for your children to know who their family members are. Because they're dating. We all got grown, well, most of us got grown kids or teenage kids. You need to know. And remember, I told y'all, when I moved to Missouri the first time, my son, I don't know how he knew. My son's uncle by his dad, who I had not talked to since I was 16, found me on whatever social media and was like, hey, my son going to school down there. All the way from Arizona? That son was only like 2 or 3 years older than my son. And I was thinking, here I am, trying to move all the way across the country to make sure that my babies is safe, and his cousin goes to school here. What if they was in college together and my son was a girl or that was a girl? They would have been going to the same college together. Here I am thinking I done moved away, and his first cousin, it was his first year of college here. Hello. Daddy's brother's son. So it don't even matter how far you move, because it showed. I said, ooh, that's crazy. And your brother still want to be on weird stuff. It is what it is. I ain't even gonna worry about it. But that goes to prove exactly what I was saying. However many years, I think my son was maybe 13 at that time. That goes back to what I was telling him and his baby mama 13 years ago when my son was born, that this is something that it needs to be out in the open, because folks move. They move around. Like, look, all my grandkids are born in Indiana, one in Arizona. What if my grandson goes back to Arizona? You know what I'm saying? He don't know Arizona. So he gets 16, whatever, he want to go back to Arizona, and then he hook up with one of my first cousin's kids because he don't know them. Because we don't, me and my kids don't do family reunions. So, it's definitely something to think about. But anyway, I love y'all. Yes, I'm about to go finish my book. I started on mine 10 years ago with my granny that just passed. So happy I did that, girl. I'm trying to, and I've been telling my mom I bought her one a couple, like 3-4 years ago. She still ain't used it. I said, girl, send me my stuff so I can give it to one of my kids. You ain't gonna use it, give me my stuff back. Nobody buying you stuff to sit up on no shelf. The heck? Or give me my $99. One of the two. Girl, I ain't playing. I still ain't got around to it. And that's why I don't get you nothing. Because if I would have gave it to somebody else, they would have used it. Girl, ain't nobody got time for that. Anyway, I love y'all.